The moonlight's surrender to daylight lets Christina Hunter run while the crickets roar.
For me, running has always been a thankful exercise.
It's her time to re-energize and reflect on a year that took an unexpected twist.
A lot of people thought an airplane had crashed into the neighborhood.
Christina and her family have lived in Richmond Hill for 4 years. Their house was one of 125 homes in the neighborhood that stood before 11:11 p.m. on November the 10th, 2012. On that night, few knew the house at 8349 Fieldfair Way was filling up with gas. Next door, at 8343 Fieldfair, the Olvey family was hanging out in the living room area. Glenn Olvey did not umpire softball as usual that day and spent the night with his wife and 2 teenage daughters. Across the street, at 8330, 2 cakes were cooling off for a church celebration the next day. Michelle Smith plays piano at worship service and planned on watching some Saturday Night Live. But at 8336 Fieldfair, something strange was happening in Mavis Byers' home. She began videotaping her usually tame poodle. Snuggles was jumping on the furniture and running to their front door. Mavis now thinks her dog could smell the gas that was building up across the street. Down the street at 3953 Towhees Drive, Doug Aldridge had just finished watching the Notre Dame game. At 4012 Armada Drive, it was time to go to bed. Ben and Leslie Melvin had spent most of the evening at a fundraising gala at the Armory in Franklin. Next door at 4018 Armada Drive is where Christina lives with her husband Nick and their 2 children Molly and Jackson. They were not home at 11:11. That's when 8349 Fieldfair Way shattered into pieces. It was the unthinkable.
We've got 1 house down, we have 2 others severely damaged, and possibly 2 others minor.
Christina and her family were camping in Johnson County. Once they heard what was unfolding in their neighborhood, they turned to their smartphones to pull up their security cameras.
We could see the smoke, we could see, we could hear people, and then all of a sudden it went dark.
They'd installed cameras months earlier due to an attempted robbery. So for the first time, we now see and hear the boom and flash of light that forced many people out of their homes. The shockwave burst their front door open and rattled their entire house. Another camera in the kitchen captured this. In the aftermath, $74,000 in structural damage.
For me, it was a holy cow moment. It was an eye-opener.
Their surveillance system would also record their neighbors, who instead of just running away, stopped to check in on their well-being.
Hello? Anybody home? Anybody home? Please tell me if you're home. Hello?
That was something.
That neighbor, Ben Melvin, before fleeing from the flames visible from his home's picture window, Ben ran to the Hunter's home.
I just, made sure that my family was okay, and I knew that obviously someone needed help.
Hello?
I don't even know why I did it. I just did.
I can say that we are blessed. Not only because we got to see that kind of spirit and that kind of courage, but we're blessed because through this we've gotten to know even more of our neighbors that go to and rush in and don't run away.
Christina's route, her routine, provide daily reminders, though it's never easy to pass the property where her neighbors died.
We mourn. We mourn for their families. We mourn for, that's a loss, an unimaginable loss.
So she runs, not from what happened, but to what lies beyond the horizon.